Alright. Let's see. So we didn't have the password. Let me check my tasks. I always forget what I needed to do exactly. The reality lowdown? Let's see. Oh right, we're gonna go ask the crabman things.
Oh, hey, wait. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I'm in the mother's love.
Coffee in the back. Something familiar about that. Coffee and stale cookies. Have you by any chance heard the Vieta say the password to a radio computer? Too many times, essay. You need it for something? Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information, especially in the name of public safety. Doing a survey of passwords and passcodes, identifying regional trends, in the interest of public safety, of course. Don't sweat it, Vado. The password is afterlife, death. What do you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nihilista Pequeña when I hear it. What is that about coffee? I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. Look, man, I'm at liberty to talk about the sacred blaze of the mother's glorious heart, but not about the coffee. Alright. I think we're done here, essay. The figure crawls off into the darkness above. That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure whether we'll find our suspect here. It'd be interesting if this is actually a follow-up to that crazy Game Master thing, where it's, yeah, we found the Game Master. Let's play again. Let's try this again. I think I might have the right password for the personal log. Good, please repeat the password. Afterlife death. Good, I've unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Okay, anything else you can do today? Fortress accident, like the one in the doomed commercial area? I have 2 machines registered to this company name in Martinez, one in St. Brune, the other on Rue de Saint Ghislain. St. Brune, that's the church. The lieutenant gestures around him in Rue de Saint Ghislain. That's the doomed commercial area. Anything else I can help you with? What are you, a machine or are you alive? Yes, I'm alive. I'm 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. Now please repeat, is this a personal log? The personal log. She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid. Okay, but where are you? How did you know where I am? I work as a repeater in the East Insulidian Repeater Station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. It's for me, well, some static. Then, I'm sitting in my cubicle surrounded by a wall of radios. Now tell me why you're calling, Fortress Accident. Thanks, but I'm finished with the call. Goodbye, Fortress Accident, she says as her voice disappears into a whirl of static. Press print. Printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal. Read the printout. First entry made out on the 4th of February, 52 by an unknown author. It's short and concise. Arrived at the church. Doors boarded up, so I used a crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get electricity in. Lieutenant leans closer, scouting the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath. 4th of February, that's over a month ago. Whoever set up the machines has been here for quite a while. You think the log might be connected to the case? Our case? No, I don't think so. Must be some local. His eyes wander the various machines around him. Eccentric. Read the second entry. 6th of February, 52. Had a little chat with a local fisherman. Said I couldn't go near that place. That the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, alright. Still haven't figured out the electricity. See? Ridden with narcotics, just like Andre said. Read the third entry. 7th of February, 52. Got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, new antenna. I'm thinking Esker series, something advanced. Why would she need an antenna? Why would anyone need any of this equipment? Why would anyone need any of this equipment here? He steps on a wire running on the ground, inspecting it with his boot. 4th entry. Bought the antenna. Had some problems set up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art, drinking somewhere out of town. Sulis Law started a rock band again. Lexi's been asking for money from strangers. Artists, yet again, harassing citizens, stealing badges, occupying public spaces with installations like the one here. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads, the programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're effed. I just have to find out what caused the data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe the backup when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know, everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right. A data loss? Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author's saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. He adjusts his glasses. Let's keep reading. Artist programmers Lexi, who are all these people? I think these people worked in the radio computer games business, the one we saw in the doomed commercial area. It must be our former co-workers. 5th entry. Brought some food from a grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow at 8 a.m. The strike, he strokes his chin. We're nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading, I'm interested now. I want to know what's the radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place. 25th of February, 52. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now. Trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics. Is she talking about... The lieutenant looks to his right, towards the silence. 20th of February, 52. Yes, the first recordings confirm the Swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence within within a diameter of approximately 3 meters. It seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here. The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than an architectural quirk? But what could it be? Look at the water basins behind you. Lieutenant doesn't answer. Follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them, no ripples. 8th entry. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've been capturing the future of dance music. One neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. That disco man must be a cell. She must be describing a cell. The girl on ice? Sounds like her, yes. 9th entry. Got a call from the repeater station. Someone tried to access the radio computer in her old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her. That's me, the one who broke into the radio computer. And the storekeeper must be Plaisance. I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with that machine. No, it was a great idea. You're learning things. This is how you learn things about machines. 10th entry. A new 2mm aux cable, noodles, crackers, Ping Ping energy drinks, water, toothpaste, gum, also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of a church door opening. Strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds down the off button for several seconds. The machine reboots. Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer. You're master circuit bender.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
We're looking for a suspect in a murder investigation. We thought they might be hiding here.
No one's hiding here.
She barely looks up from the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back to life.
It is me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now, please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
No idea how long we have to wait. Well, I wanted to look at this for a bit. So, golden lungs, or shining lungs. And there's a king-looking guy here. Crazy crown spear golden egg. Someone's siphoning electrical current from outside into this antenna. Let's look at the hole. Because that's snow, right? In white, silver, and apricot faisance, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She's impossibly tall, oval-faced, and sad. A dark and radiant majesty. This is her, Innocence Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel. No. Cold wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. Snow drifts cover the floorboards at your feet. Above you, you feel her multicolored eyes on you, inspecting you. As if under a microscope. Look up. The woman looks down at you standing there. She towers among her fellows, architects, laymen, courtiers. There's a sad smile on her lips, and a glint in her green-blue eye. Of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who's still alive. It's compassion. As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times as you stand in the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass. How did I know this is the mother of humanism? Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still. It will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men. What exactly is an innocence? I've read a book, but it was fuzzy. The highest category of historic individual, the embodiment of the world's spirit. A ruler? More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate innocentric rule, should it coincide with our time. The innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions, they are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office. Is one in office now? No, we are alone. When did she rule? 300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of the Isola, the Enceladian, by explorers from the continent of Mundi. She is, among other things, the innocence of interstellar travel, the connected world. What else do I know about her? Many things. You know, she was a woman of the court, a wife of an influential marquise, and eventually the principal advisor to Irina la Navigateur, queen of Suresne, modern-day Sir Leclerc. Also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty, draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historical trivia, standing under her long, slender form like this, dwarfs? Where's this coming from? The past. It's a silo of sadness, fermenting. You should keep away. No, you must know. Okay, what else? Was she smart? Terribly. Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A similar grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels, even before she was declared an innocence. Her influence was tremendous. How come? It was on her advice that Irene la Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale, a costly, even tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era of history, the DeLorean era. Wow, Wow, indeed. When her innocence was declared, the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her. She was overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That's why the lungs are the symbol for love, for the cultures of the Real Belt. I want more. As do we all. The lands of the Mesk and Occident, and even faraway Supramundi. Altogether 21 of the 40 mondial nations of the time immediately accepted Innocentric rule, even before her crowning. Her crowning? In a city called Advesperciat, in Vesper Messina, her homeland. The name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and the slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the Secret Servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt. Must have been beautiful. Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother. A perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by Secret Servicemen. Then what? One of the men in the Secret Service killed her, 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else. What? Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves, the man reported to have screamed at the innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece, 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm like a furnace, and that sometimes while on duty he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It's commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology. Was there something terrifying about her? Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it, but terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about her. No, there was something bad about her. I want to know. You already do. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her Theriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all of the Innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaign she waged against the Mesk state. Then there are the resettlement programs. What happened? The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentric rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Magritte were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity, suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb, an icon such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you've ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pisantic Mare Interroginum. Little is known of her Marchese husband, as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to the court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her. This subtle terror is part of her iconography. Lieutenant Roya Frater, you stood there for over 5 minutes. The lieutenant's calm voice echoes in the cold air of the church. What are you thinking of, may I ask? She's somehow connected to the case. We're crazy pants. Embrace it! She's been dead for 300 years. I'm almost 1,000% certain she isn't connected to the case. He takes his glasses off to clean them. None of this, in fact. This church, the coast, this isn't a good place to get lost in. Okay, reconstruct the piece. A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath a younger woman. A text. A light motive below them both. What shattered this mosaic? Hey, it is an older woman. Unknown. A motor carriage, a gunshot, someone falling into it, or maybe just hooligans looking for something to break. Who's the older woman? The escuton on her throne says Irene the Navigator. She's depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses and holding a golden Reich Sapfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up to the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, Theriers, stand in a row guarding her. Must have taken years to produce this work in all of its dizzying detail. The motto, what does it say? Below both women, in luminous black letter, Après la vie mort, après la mort, la vie de nouveau. And then along the left side, Après de le monde, le gris, après le gris, le monde de nouveau. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism. A summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the Enceladian, on human trafficking. A tremendous sea change akin to finding life after death. Could these words be the password that unlocks the filament memory? Lieutenant, this used to say afterlife, death. After death, life again. He nods. After the world, the pale, the pale, yeah, blah, blah. This exaltation is common in DeLorean's sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however. Why? It was deemed subservient to use strongly moral intern-related motto. We're already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing. So what's the RCM motto now? Justice, union, prudence, and force. Cool. Ice cool. The lieutenant nods. Step back. Let's see. This is Dolores Day. The old woman in the village was right. He looks around. This must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez. Or the small Pinewood Church in some records. You knew of this place. It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. He lowers his voice. It was built not long after Revachel's founding, 300 or so years ago by the first-generation settlers. On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only the animals had roamed before. In the wild reeds. What else do you know? There used to be 7 staved churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they called them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the Revolution, or used for building materials. We should be respectful here. Although the building appears to be deserted, I do not believe we'll find the instigator here. Something else, perhaps. He looks at the machinery lying around. Respectful? Is Lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism? Is he? Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin. Huh. The woman looks by in silence, smiling enigmatically. Didn't know you were spiritual. It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance. Hey, Her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figures, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember? What? You have the headless Fallen Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back. What? Win who back? I can't win her back. She's a long-dead historical figure. Don't be so pessimistic. Love doesn't die that easily. This isn't funny. You have a bad feeling about this one. I should, yes. This is a task of mine now. So very, very, very nifty and mysterious. This is what the figurines are for. It's like I can't give the figurine to her. Why? Because she has a stained glass window. That doesn't seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else. What? Is the task still on? I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone to other things already. Only a strange little sadness remains. Okay, well, let's talk to her.
What is it?
I didn't break anything, did I?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
It doesn't look like a big loss to her. Are you the lead programmer of We're All Untethered by any chance?
Yes. Or no, not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized, rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back. Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing
I
here?
am Sona Lukanen Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how can I help you.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was a teenager. That still doesn't answer what she's doing in an abandoned church. Have you seen anyone suspicious? Say, a woman named Ruby. What? No one's suspicious around here. She hasn't seen her. Sir, 'tis true, sire, 'tis true. Why are there so many machines in this place? I brought them here. These are my machines. Don't touch anything. Why do you need an antenna? I use the AR1 as my REM prefix processing unit. REM prefix, that's your radio computer, right? Mm-hmm. And the antenna is its processing unit? Yes, she sighs. You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you? She has stopped working now. I know a little. Alright, well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna. Wait, what's on air? On the front, the United Front of Radio Waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Inslitic region. It's all around us, she waves her hand. That's what on air means. Like love. And the AR-1 is a good antenna? She stops to think. I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, she turns back to her terminal. You should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare prices. There are many milieu dedicated to that sort of thing. What are you doing with your radio computer? I'm working. The machine seems almost alien with its pulsating core, the light casting her face in a strange shadow. Working on what? Could you... She closes her eyes. Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something. It's not just rudeness. It's really hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do, and you're not helping. Isn't your REM prefix radio computer made exclusively for government use? So you do know something about computers, she looks up, almost proud of you. You're right, prefix is mostly used by government groups. And you work for the government? No, I don't. So why do you have it? Inhales sharply, before answering in a single breath. Because I needed something good for my investigation, and REM Civic is widely agreed to be below all standards, so I had to upgrade. Besides, owning a REM prefix isn't a big deal anymore. No, it actually is kind of a big deal. You don't see REM prefix in every police department, for example. How'd you get your hands on it? I know a friend of a friend who used to freelance for the Coalition, she says nonchalantly, scratching her ear. I was actually aiming for the military-grade REM Rational series, but I couldn't find one. She pats her glowing machine. Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as the REM Civic, so it's kind of a rip-off. But it does have better compatibility with the newer antenna models, so I won't complain. What about the bowls of water over there? They're connected to my REM prefix. She looks up. Whatever you do, don't move them, okay? Thanks. Short and terse, there you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers. Okay. What are you doing in an abandoned church? You really like those questions, don't you? There's a hint of amusement in her tired eyes. I'm a police officer. It's my job to ask questions. I'm conducting a scientific research here. You can't throw me out, she says, ready to stand her ground. What research? I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world. Wait, what? She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. Is the hole connected to the data loss in your journal? Yes, that's what led me here. She stares at the burnished antenna on a nearby table. I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that. A hole in the world, what does that mean exactly? Exactly, what does it mean? There's something frantic about her as she locks her gaze with you, eyes shining up like pearls. Up to now, it's been impossible to say what it is, because it's impossible to measure nothing. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist? She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer. Easy, you measure it by the world around it. You measure it by collecting data on its surroundings. On that which exists. Exactly, she nods. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I tried using hydrotransducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. Ha! Hydrotransducers. That's what those water basins are. Devices for recording sound through water. But honestly, it's not progressing very well. She grows silent, staring at her circle of basins, like some ancient ritual. Have you any idea where the hole might be located? Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume. She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch-black lights above, or heights above, without much success. Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark. Why there? There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decrease. I've named it the Swallow, and the higher you go, the less you record. The Pillar of Silence. Are you sure it's not an architectural quirk? Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place. This is where the Crabman lives. I know. You don't think the Crabman might be somehow responsible here? No, I don't. You said the research isn't going well. Why not? Because it's just trial and error. Trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... She stops mid-sentence. You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work. That's all I want to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world, for now. Great. Her hands whirl on the keyboard. Thanks. Have you seen the Crabman? No. But you know he's around? Yes. Sounds like you're not worried about him at all. No, you're right. I'm not. Her voice trails off as she bends over to tinker with the machine's printer. How do you feel about anodic dance music? What? She squints her eyes? I hate it. I bet she hasn't even heard it. Okay, wow, that was quick. Why do you hate it? Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind, it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music. Right, but how do you feel about a club for anodic dance music? This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? She looks up, shaking her head. We got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here. What do they want to build then? Take a guess, why don't you? Still convinced they wanted to establish a nightclub for anodic dance music. They said it's their dream. Lead programmer sighs. I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks. Okay. Can't ask anything else, which is annoying. Huh. Well, this is not progress in the way I was hoping for. Maybe we have to go team up the speed freaks with her, and I don't know. This is weird. This is absolutely something that I can help with. I'm just not entirely sure how or what, or a bunch of things, really. How am I doing on skill points? How much have I racked up? I got 3. That's good stuff. It's kind of interesting. Normally in games, you're kind of... There's a reason why you want to have as many skill points in one thing or another. In this game, it doesn't matter so much. It's very much one of those where you can just get by without leveling up really at all, and only using them when you need to. Anyway, let's go talk to them a bunch. It smells like sweat and laundry detergent, plus a trace of ether.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
At the church, I checked it out. And? He tenses up. What happened? Talk to the Crabman. Oh, man! Who is he? What did you think? He seemed okay, to be honest. Very spiritual. Really? Huh. Interesting. What's he doing in the church? Just preaching and praying from the looks of it. No matter, the young man mumbles gruffly. Is he going to be a problem? Yeah, Noid's right. Let's get back to the point. What are we going to do about him? The guys will never catch him. You'll never catch him. There's nothing to do. Actually, he told me he wouldn't mind the nightclub at all. I don't know, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? He rubs his jaw. A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have a nice, friendly hyper time. Don't worry. I don't think he really gives a damn about you or anyone else. I guess it's not a massive problem, now that I think about it. Everyone is welcome to dance till the morning light! Yeah! Maybe, I guess we'll figure something out. Okay. Well, what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes. Did you see her? I was using the mainframe when Suna, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident, appeared. Programmer? That's odd. What was she like? Did you ask her about the nightclub? She did not like the idea of a Enotic Dance Club idea. Oh, did not like the Enotic Dance Club idea. What a pity! That's my favorite thing in the world. He drops a hammer back into a toolbox. And she doesn't like it at all. A shame, he sighs. What can we do now? Do you see a way out of this jam and to a laser-lit future of dance and unity? Unity dance! She made it very clear she won't leave until her own project is finished. And you can't just evict her? No, I won't evict her. We have to come up with a different solution. Look at you, Honor Man. No, Noid, he's right. Maybe we've approached it the wrong way after all. I'm sure there's a workaround. Maybe we can make a deal to not bother her. If that's okay with her, we only want to get in the church and spread the joy of ecstasy and ecstasy of music. The lines in the dark exist. Coexist. At least the Crabman seems like an advanced being. He's hard. He'll understand. Yeah, he can do his climbing thing in the tower. And the programmer, does she like Enotic dance music? She absolutely does not. Really, truly despises it. Egghead cannot believe what you just said. It makes him pump the jam a little slower for a moment. Then he returns to the full swing of it. No worries, we'll figure it out. The man nods enthusiastically and then leans in and whispers, coexisting fails, you can always muscle her out, right? All's okay with you? I refuse to throw her out, but I can try convincing her. He smiles wide, like a replica of his friend with a large head. Excellent, good luck, my friend. Okay, let's try talking to the Noid.
I see you're here again. Oh.
Nope, can't talk to the Noid, and that's fine. Because I feel like these guys might actually be the secret. They seem just techie enough, at least a couple of them, that could maybe probably help. Or not. Let's talk to her.
Hello again.
No. I feel kind of bad, because I am a terrible cop, because I'm getting distracted with all these other side cases. That said, they all kind of do lead me somewhere, so it's not so bad.
Yes, what is it?
What if you didn't have to leave? I talked to Andre. He wants to make it work. I don't want to make anything work, she replies, her expression unchanged. Hold on, you don't want to make anything work? Yes, anything. I don't want to make it work. Cooperate with the ravers. Easy. When her research is done, she can move out. Listen, about your research. You mentioned earlier it's not going very well. Maybe I can help with something. What? She looks up from her work disoriented. No, I don't really need any help with the project. But if I could help you finish the project, then you wouldn't have to live in a church next to the Boom Boom anymore. Just think about it. She thinks about it, glassy look in her eyes. A gust of wind brings more snow in from the broken gallery. It touches her hair. Alright, she finally says, blinking twice. Bring me the game's offsite copy from the old workspace if you really want to help. It's stored in a filament memory, and I'm unable to go fetch it myself. By your old workspace, do you mean the studio of the Fortress accident in the doomed commercial area? Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady. I've already been inside the doomed commercial area. Good. Then you might know the giant ice bear fridge in the building cellar. The filament's inside the fridge. Just go ahead and get it. And where is it? In the giant ice bear fridge. I just told you. It has glowing red eyes. It's impossible to miss. You just need to get the off-site copy from the ice bear. But you've been to the fridge and it wasn't there. There was a note saying the off-site copy had been moved to a safer place. Wait, a note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory? It said the off-site copy had been taken to a nearby ice cream maker. The note was signed someone named Sulislaw. Zawiza, of course, she relaxes. Our project lead, Sulislaw Zawiza. God, he was always so hell-bent on keeping the copy somewhere safe. And feature creep, he mutters. And the Valley of Heads. Like it would have made a difference. The offsite copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. The data loss was anomalous. She crosses her arms defiantly. And the heads? I won't even get into the heads. Millions of them. She stops. Go find that copy from the ice cream maker, will you? Thanks. Value of 1,000 heads. You like the sound of that. I found the ice cream maker, but couldn't get it open. It's completely frozen. This is getting ridiculous. Can't you just defrost it? Or I don't know. About the ice cream maker. Just figure something out. What's an off-site copy and why do you need it? It's a backup of my former employer's project, the radio game we were working on, and stored on a filament memory, just like the one inside this radio computer. She points to the glowing cube inside the machine. She's making it extra simple for you. The backup itself is destroyed now, but I'm hoping to use what's left on it to pinpoint the exact location of the anomaly. You just have to go to my old workspace and get the filament. If it's called an off-site copy, why is it still on-site? Oh god, not this again. She takes a deep breath before letting it all out. It's not the on-site, it's the in the basement. A perfectly safe, not connected to the front at all. Basement. Sounds like it's technically still on-site. And no, taking it outside the building wouldn't have protected it from the data loss. There's nothing wrong with keeping the backup in the basement. What happened is a freak accident that has nothing to do with how the backup was stored. We clear? Alright. Thanks. She thinks for a moment, then reaches behind the radio computer and hands you what looks like an oversized pry bar. Here's my Convulsund multi-tool. You might need it to hack loose some ice. It opens everything. If you get me the off-site copy, then you can keep the Convulsund. This is the legendary Convulsund multi-tool. This pry bar version 2.0 for professionals like you. Well, that's handy. Like I said, bad cop, but it all leads back down to the case, kind of, sort of. Okay, so we got a couple other things we should do. It's getting close to 8 at night, which is fairly late by all standards. Let's see if we want to go this way. Right, I can zoom out like crazy. But I think we're still working on... Oh no, we got White Morning. Oh, I was thinking of these things. What I should get. Let's get the bow collector. Because that's a memory of the past. We want to talk to her. If we can.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I was asked to get your signature. Hey, what's this about? She takes out the documents and squints her eyes. Oh no, I can't read this scribble. Tell me what it says. Everett wants to turn part of the village into a little youth center. Ha! She lifts the paper to her face and studies it intently. I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is going to be a street. The best part. The part we need to get out of our houses. Have you asked Lillian about this? I won't even consider signing till I know she's on board. So, more or less, he'd evict them all.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down, bastards.
So that's to get your signature. Were you? Her eyes dart back and forth on the paper. Huh, this says, by signing I agree to living with construction noise. What exactly is the Union building? Everett's planning to turn some of the village into a youth center. That's a nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that. Her voice trails off. Sounds incredulous about the niceness of idea. What exactly? That Everard and the Union have nice plans for anything. I thought they only cared about themselves. She shakes her head. Well, I guess the Union members have children too. And those members have a vote when electing the head of the local chapter. Second thought, don't sign those papers. There's something fishy about it that I don't like. Let's go talk to these guys. We did get the jacket. I don't actually need the jacket that much.
Tequila sunset.
Okay, here's your jacket. Fresh washed. My jacket was pretty filthy, though. Got it clean for you. Look of consternation crosses the man's face. He looks at you, then the bottle, and then back at you. What are you talking about, Tequila? You're saying this isn't your jacket? Vaughn, that's medium concept stuff. Not my style at all. I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe you should lay off the booze. It's effing with your head. Becomes abundantly clear. You know this man managed to lose his keys, business... Oh, how this man managed to lose his keys, business, friends, and girlfriend. I'm calling it. It's neurological. It's your loss. I'm keeping it for myself. That shit's so medium concept, I wouldn't touch it with a stick. But yeah, okay. I'm sure it looks great on you. Let's see. It's got another story. Do I want to do it? I don't want to do it now. Oh, we can talk to Kim.
I've been meaning to have a little chat with you about your sense of style.
My style? What about it? To be perfectly blunt, you're dressed like a blood-hungry mercenary. I'm wearing it in case we get into a firefight. Lieutenant sighs. It might feel good to play super merc. You might want to ask if it's actually helping you solve the case. I know the expression. You know the expression, the clothes make the man? The right outfit, the right situation can make all the difference in the world. Okay, you're a sharp-dressing man. I could be style buddies with you. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, detective. A warm smile. Anyway, we should probably get back to the case. Let's go. So I looked it up, by the way. You know how I had the aces high thing? Well, apparently there's also aces low.
Our tenant, the policeman.
Okay. I'm gonna quick save. I don't trust Everard. I'm gonna talk to them again.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down.
Okay.
Simmer down, bastards.
He has a pen and everything. She takes it from you. A doubtful look in her eyes. Clicks it and places the tip on the paper. She gives the document one more look, then shakes her head. Signs it and hands it back to you. Here you go. Wait, why did you sign it? I shouldn't have? I mean, it's Everard, so it's probably a mistake. Probably, she smiles, but it's a youth center, and I have children. Gotta give them something else to do. They're cute and small now, but they're growing up fast. I had my first drink when I was 11, because I was so bored. Anyhow, you also need Isabel's signature. If it's a bad idea, she won't sign. You'll find she's a tougher nut to crack than me. Sound logic. Division of labor. She leaves the skepticism to the skeptic. Sounds like Isabel is the leader around here. I just don't trust Everard. Like, if he was in general trying to, like, save Martinez, I'd be down. But he's very much scum.
The policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I got Lillian's signature. Will you sign the paper now? Lillian should let her sword make the decisions. The girl doesn't have the head for it. She lets out a chortle. Hoarse like a raven's crow. Either way, I won't sign. What do you have against the Union? I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling poor men promises they never plan to keep. She pulls a dark red rag out of out of the bucket and puts it back. Then the poor gets pushed out of their homes and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes. So no, I don't trust the fat man, and neither should you. In her mind, the Union is right-wing because Everett is fat. It's that simple, and there's no changing it. She speaks with the authority of a leader. Hers is the final word around here. I am confused. Like, I feel like it's nefarious or maybe not nefarious. No matter what, there's definitely room for a community center, don't get me wrong. It's just the question of, like, is it actually a community center, or is he going to just repossess their homes? Well, I don't know. I can't figure it out. I guess... I mean, assuming he doesn't actually screw them over, then this is okay. I feel bad.
The policeman. I hope the...
My suggestion skill is atrocious, though. Let's see if I can scale that up a bit. I guess we could also just accept failure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens when I fail it, because that's an interesting point. That's probably where we get any alternate bonuses. Let's see. Look like I have too much else that bonuses suggestion. It's mostly minuses. Okay. Well, let's just quick save, talk to her.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Isabel, you must understand this place needs that construction project. I've heard that pitch before, plenty. Building this, building that, new jobs, new blood. She shakes her head in disdain. Some other people always end up holding the short end of the stick. Gotta be smart, read the fine print, think ahead, look for opportunities. And what do you think I'm doing right now, Mr. RCM? The scrub brush flies into the bucket so furiously some splashes hit your face. It's like soap, unsurprisingly. Do you know who takes the cream off these deals? Real estate developers, construction companies, restaurant owners, Claire's accountants in La Delta. Have some integrity. You're an officer of the law, not some fat slug's corrupt little crony. It's okay. She's emotional right now. Keep at it. Wear her out. There could be another way. You need to go somewhere private and discreet, though, like your shack. I still feel like... So, I feel like there's some way to...
Tequila sunset.
No.
The legend. He's back.
No. The problem... Oh. Trying to find a loophole in the deal. There's no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access for the next 12 to 40 months. Their lives will be dominated by a constant construction noise right next door. That's terrible. Poor people. Can't I do something? Good trick effort. Get someone random to sign the document. By the time the union boss finds out, your business will already be concluded. With a zoning plan. Youth Center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses, 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. It's either ominous or cool architectural choice, hard to say. My money's on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite. Okay, so there's our answer. I knew there was something. Let's... I shouldn't have gotten Isabel to sign. I didn't realize I could interact with the documents. Okay, question. Do we time cop? How far can I time cop? Let's time cop back a bit. Because I don't know if having Isabel's signature on will screw her over. But why? Why potentially make her life harder because I goof? Let's go over here. I knew there was some way to mess this up. Let's see. Look, Kim, these people are gonna have to move away. Can we do something about it? Should have seen it. The lieutenant frowns as he reads over the document again. Let's see. Interfacing low. Ah. I've heard he probably has his eyes on us. But he pauses to think. You could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge their signatures yourself. By the time he finds out, we'll already be gone. Look at the zoning plan. Okay, so yeah. So let's close that for a second. Now, here's where the drunks come into play.
Tequila sunset.
You and your pals signed this document. What's this about? He waves his hands apathetically. I'll let my hand address the situation. Maybe you heard I used to be a very successful businessman. I signed more than a few lease forms, or whatever they are. Looks around. Anyone got a pen? Pro's gonna do it. Yeah, I got a green ape one. Alright. He grabs the pen and paper carefully, scribbles on the dotted line next to Lillian's signature. Idiot Doom Spiral. Need 2 signatures for the document. Hey, Abs! He shouts to the mumbling drunkard next to him. Hey, Abs! The man looks around, confused. Don't you call Abigail. Did you just sign this document right here? Waves the paper and pen in front of the man's face. It's important. Don't call her. His trembling hand catches the paperwork. He lays it out on his knees and starts writing slowly. The handwriting is almost illegible due to his shaky hands. Friend grabs the document and admires it. Dumb, what you call Abs? Yeah, great job, Abs. Nailed it. Can I have the pen back too? Don't know if I've mentioned it, but I used to be a businessman, and as a businessman, I'm gonna keep the pen for my trouble. He nods confidently. No, that was my favorite thing. Of all the things you have. You've done a great service to the village, to the RCM, and to Revachol. Hey guys, we're heroes. He waves his hands erratically to the other guys. About effing time, man. I've done my duty. He brings his hand to his head for salute. Don't call Abigail, he snorts and takes a swig from his bottle. The bottle is empty. Thank you for your services, gentlemen. He turns to you. Should we go and mail this? I think I saw a mailbox in the plaza. Mailbox, plaza, got it. Yeah, there we go. I knew it. I knew there was a way to screw over Everett. Because it just seemed too scummy. And, like, if the guy had been good, or at least just a little shady, but he was going to scam somebody else, cool. But no. He was more or less trying to evict those people. Losing road access for 40 months, that's 3 years. Imagine if you couldn't get to your house for 3 years. Where would you live? How would you deal with that? There's no way, especially if you're, like, in the depths of poverty. The mailbox. Mailbox is over here. I knew we'd get to use the mailbox for something. Yes, for sending mail. Drop the mailbox into the mail. Okay. Drop the white envelope into the darkness. It lands with a soft thud at what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail has been collected in there. We'll empty this very soon. Probably did the right thing. You can't trust that slug Everett. You know he's going to play you somehow. Alright, let's go back to Everett. The lieutenant turns towards the industrial harbor. Don't mention anything to him. He won't know before it's too late. Okay, but while we're here, let's go inside. Let's finally get this thing open. Tools. Holy crap! Crack open the lid. It squeaks beneath your Cavalson multi-tool, but your fingers slip away from the tool. The lid shut as tightly as before. It's already unplugged. There's not much else to do other than wait for it to defrost or bulk up and get stronger. Physical instrument. Okay, let's leave. I gotta have some things that boost physical instruments up in this. That might be it, though. I think that's the best I got. Pain threshold and half-light. A lot of pain threshold. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's better. Nope. Bulking up. Okay, ice groans and howls under the strain of your giant Cavalson multi-tool until the lid cracks open. Darkness inside, but you can faintly make out an object, intricate and foreign, left there for a sub-zero beauty sleep. Filament memory with the words "offsite copy" written on it. What? No ice cream? A scoop of ice cream would have been nice, yes, the lieutenant agrees. Someone's stomach grumbles. The room feels very cold. Take the filament memory. Alright. Take it back to Miss Lucanen Kield as soon as possible. I'm not sure how well unused filaments tolerate room temperatures. Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on the precious filament? There's a radio computer upstairs. I'm curious, but I'm not that curious. Plus, maybe I can ask about it and be like, what is? And she'll be like, this is.